Hey friends, this is going to be a choose a card reading or choose a deck reading for the new moon that's happening on January 5th. This is new moon in Capricorn. This particular new moon is going to be all about feeling very pushed to go in a new direction. Whereas maybe before we had some fears and we were reluctant to move forward, this new moon is going to be a really excellent time for starting something new in your life. So we're going to see, based on which deck you choose here, what new energies are coming into your life with this new moon. Another thing I want to add, guys, usually with the new moon energy, we might be feeling it for about 4 weeks or so after, but the effects here in this case, because of the partial solar eclipse the day after, means that this energy is going to be with us for the next 6 months. So we're going to see what's really happening for the next 6 months. That's pretty huge. Go ahead, take a look at the decks. Pause if you need to. You'll pick the deck that's calling to you most. Sometimes what happens is more than one deck is jumping out and we have a very hard time making up our mind. That's okay too. Sometimes all of it applies, but I would give you this one piece of advice. Whichever order in which they're calling to you is probably going to be the order in which the energy is coming in for you for the next 6 months. I'll have timestamps too, but this is going to be deck 1, deck 2, and deck 3. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and see what is happening for you guys. Deck 1. All right, we have your first card here. This is like a very thick cardstock, so sometimes it's hard to grab it. Council of Light, okay? Council of Light. So this basically means if you picked this deck, Council of Light, and I will tell you, I did pre-shuffle and I did look at the cards, and you have a lot of action cards in this deck. So if you picked this deck, you are maybe coming out of a time of frustration where you've had a really hard time in your life and you're over it and you want change and you're ready to move forward. But this frustration, if you pick this deck, is probably coming in the areas of like meaning and purpose and spirituality. Like you're looking for connection in your life. You're looking for like important meaning and like your own spiritual gifts as well. And I can honestly tell you, if you chose this deck, the cards are really saying very strongly, very firmly, that you're coming into a time in which you are going to have basically an awakening, a really massive awakening and a really massive connection. Sometimes when we have an awakening, it happens in the way where we have like growth within ourselves and we see things we don't like to see. You've already been through that stage of awakening. You know, when you have Council of Light, you've already seen what you need to see. You're in the stage of awakening now where you are finally receiving messages. You are connecting to your spirituality. You are connecting to your guides. This is actually a card about the Ascended Masters who are coming up around you to help you and to guide you. So you might even be embarking in some form of being a spiritual teacher, whether you're learning to do something like spiritual, like energy healing, or if you're doing something in terms of creating or writing, or something again, creative that you're putting out that's going to be carrying some kind of theme or message to the world. You are contributing in some way. You are preparing something where you're going to be helping others. And as I'm saying this, I don't know if you can hear those sirens that are just going nuts there. Let me pop in my microphone here too, because that might help reduce some of the noise. Maybe this might isolate some of the background sound. But one of the things I will tell you, anytime in a reading an outside noise comes in, that's also a message. And I heard fire trucks going by. So I feel that there's some kind of emergency in your life or some sense of urgency. And these Ascended Masters are showing up to help you and to guide you through this. You might be having some kind of crisis in your conscience, or just crisis in terms within yourself of like, what is the right thing for me to do in life? You know, what should I be doing? What does it mean to be a good person? What does it mean to be a light worker? So you have messages that are going to be coming in. The most beautiful thing about the Council of Light, guys, having these angels and these guides, these ascended masters visiting you. The ascended masters, they were regular people like you and I, but they made a huge difference in the world. Okay, so it's not like an archangel like Archangel Michael or any of the archangels who were never really human. Like they are archangels. They're angels. They're not have been in human bodies, but the ascended masters were in human bodies. Okay, the ascended masters did live a life on earth, and they know what it means to be human, and they went through that awakening, and they went through the process, and they understand the struggles, and they know how hard it could be. So you are in good company. They are coming up around you to help you and to say, hey, look, you know what? We've been there. We've had that happen too. And they're guiding you through this process, which really means, you know, this is not about an ego thing. You're probably very much on that track of becoming an ascended master yourself. I mean, it's how like kind of like legends get created, right? Like somebody might do something very wonderful, and people go on to tell stories about them for years to come. So there's a good chance you might be doing something, my friends, where you are preparing to create some really massive, positive ripple effect in the world, in society, and these ascended masters are coming up to help you with this. This isn't about like being famous necessarily, but you know, you are creating a big impact, and for some of you, you may be going down in history. And that's very powerful energy that's coming in for you in the next 6 months. So expect to receive a lot of messages. Your next card for this deck is the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits and soul tribe. So, you know, maybe you've been feeling a little bit isolated. Maybe you've been feeling a little bit lonely. Maybe you feel like a stranger in a strange land. However, with this card, it's basically saying your soul family is showing up. The people who resonate with you, and your authentic energy, like who you really are. You're getting over any kind of like preconditioning in your life, and you're going back to who you are on a soul level, and you're connecting with your soul family. So you can expect that over the next 6 months, you're going to be meeting a lot of new people who you maybe like just take to immediately, where these people, even though you haven't known them very long, you may feel closer to them to potentially people you've known your whole life, maybe even possibly more than certain family members. These people are going to feel like family to you. It feels more like friends because your soul tribe is coming in. This is something that you're manifesting over the next 6 months. Your next card in this deck, I really love this deck. It's so beautiful. Is Awakening, okay? Energetic upgrades, a new way of being, integration. So remember how I was saying in the beginning that if you chose this deck, you've probably been going through an awakening process, and now you're just frustrated and you want the momentum of things moving forward. You want the action finally to be coming in. Well, like I said, I just intuitively feel, guys, those of you who chose this deck and who are having the awakening, like I said, you've already been through the unpleasant part of awakening. You've already been through like the seeing your own mistakes, seeing the ugliness in the world, seeing ugliness and maybe some actions that you've done in your life, and we all have them. Believe me, nobody is void of that. It's just kind of part of being human and going through the journey and waking up. I feel now you're coming into the part of awakening where your vibration is really lifting, and you're beginning again to receive messages. You went through the clearing part. You went through the waking up part. If you picked this deck, your soul is being activated right now, and you're just like it's the computer system just came on. Everything's like, you know, been uploaded, and it's time to proceed and to move forward. So you're receiving so much information and answers finally. Whereas when we first wake up, we just have a ton of questions. Now you're coming into the answers. That's what I feel like is happening. And a lot of you are feeling very euphoric. You're coming into a euphoric stage of awakening. There's a stage of awakening when we begin to see beauty, where we begin to receive our messages, where we're just kind of really in awe of all of the behind the scenes kind of things in life that a lot of people who are sleeping miss out on. And so there's that beauty, that beautiful stage of awakening that's coming in for you. Your next card here is Pallades. I think it's the Palladians, but I think the planet is Pallades, and they're the Palladians. Okay, so guys, this is extraterrestrials, obviously. I'm not sure where your stance is on extraterrestrials as you're watching this. Maybe this is the time for you to think about that. Maybe you've never thought about that. Do I believe in aliens? Do I not believe in aliens? But whether or not you believe in these beings as, you know, space creatures who hop into spaceships and fly around, or if you believe them more of being like energetic beings, there's actually a whole belief. Some people believe that these aliens are actually angels, and some are angels and some are demons. Some people believe this, but Palladians are known to be the good guys. Okay, so they kind of have a history in, I don't know if I want to call it folklore, but basically they've been known, or they've been said to contact humanity and trying to help humanity with technology to save the world, with messages and guidance and just higher intelligence to help guide people. And so you may be picking up on some of this energy. You may be having some channeling information coming in. Those of you who meditate, you might be accessing that Palladian realm. You may be receiving Palladian messages. But it's definitely about uplifting. It's positive messages. It would never be anything about harming anyone. It would never be anything about harming yourself, because this is energy about the highest good and doing good for people and helping and bringing positive change. Remember how I said some of you are going to be having a chance to create something or put something out there, which is bringing about positive change. This would also really, really be a very strong message in this card as well. You might be receiving information or channeling information where you're having the ability to be a vessel to create something, whether it's technological or creative, but it's going to help advance humans and going to help advance others in their awakening process as well. Your next card here, and your last card if you pick this deck, is Warrior Woman, okay? So this is about what would you do if you weren't afraid? If you weren't afraid, what action would you take? And I feel that a lot of you, now that you're receiving these messages over the next 6 months, you are going to begin having more courage, and you are going to finally get to the point where you're ready to take action, and you're ready to act on your ideas and to put things out there and to seek out your community and your people and just be in your authenticity. I think a lot of you are losing the fear. You're learning to trust in yourself. You're learning to trust in your own decisions. You're letting go of the past, just kind of worry and insecurity. Some of you, I feel, are coming into a time of when you are taking charge or you're taking leadership in some way. I feel some of you are going to have a really, really big role in like friends or family are going to see how much you're changing, and they're going to be leaning on you for advice. Like, hey, like, how did you all of a sudden get so together? Or how did you all of a sudden come out of your depression or fix your life? Like, people might be coming to you for advice. So you might be helping certain family members or people close to you break out of a toxic cycle. You are finally not afraid, and you're out of the toxic cycle, and you're helping others to do the same. Okay, that's what I'm feeling intuitively for some of you. Now, this next deck, deck number 2, is gonna be about, I think if you picked this deck, the energy that I'm feeling here is that you're somebody that's been doing a lot of healing. Like you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. Maybe you've been going to energy healers. Maybe you've been going to counseling and therapy. And maybe you've been doing things like self-help books. But you've really been putting a lot of time into trying to make yourself a better person, and specifically trying to heal a broken heart. You've been really, really working very hard to heal brokenness, and you've really been like trying to set boundaries and separating yourself from any people or things who are harsh or who are hurtful, or who are toxic. And you are like, finally, like, I deserve to be happy, I deserve to be loved. But you're just like, okay, but where is it? Like, I've done all this work, where is it? That's what I feel like is happening if you picked this deck. Your first card here is reliable. Okay, so this is beautiful, guys. Like I said, this energy that's coming in for this new moon is going to be with us for the next 6 months. So over the next 6 months, remember how I said a lot of you that picked this deck, you were going through like healing, and you're like, well, where's the positive change? You are going to be manifesting or calling in reliable people. Maybe some of you, you've had a really hard time with abandonment and people not being there for you, or like leaving you to take care of everything by yourself. Well, over the next 6 months, you're manifesting, people who are going to have your back, who you can count on, right? And it's not because you think you're some defenseless little, poor little me, like I'm weak and I need to be rescued. You're out of that energy, right? Like here you are playing this harp, soothing yourself, comforting yourself, maybe even meditating, coming up with answers to your questions. So you are able to kind of take care of yourself, but you are calling in reliable people that you can depend on. Not because you feel like you can't get by on your own, but because you know that you deserve it as a human. You deserve to have that contact, that help. And so it's coming in for you. And you're going to have people coming in who are wanting to help you or be there for you. They don't want you to do everything on your own. So you're manifesting that reliable energy, reliable people in the next 6 months, okay? So I think also a lot of you are coming into a very strong energy of trusting yourself and knowing your self-worth. And that is also really, really like a magnet attracting these reliable relationships coming into your life. Your next card here in this deck is learning. Okay, so a lot of you are learning to have healthy relationships. A lot of you are learning how to let somebody be there for you. A lot of you are learning how to accept love, gifts and compliments and attention. I keep hearing attention. I feel like some of you are like, oh, I'm not used to people looking at me, but you've been lonely for a very long time. And if we want to be unlonely, we have to get used to people looking at us, right? If somebody's going to be in our life, or if they're going to be hanging out with us or spending time with us, they're going to be looking at us. So, a lot of you are just learning to accept attention. A lot of you are learning to accept the gifts that are happening in life through this transformation that you're going through. I also feel that a lot of you are learning to trust in the process. I feel like at this stage, in the next 6 months, you know that there's still more down the road for you, and you're maybe viewing this more as like, okay, well, here's some light coming in. There's more to the story. I'm not sure where this is going to end up. I'm not sure where this is going to go with these relationships or these people, but you're learning to have faith in the process. You're learning to trust the process, and you're learning to be patient with it as this energy is coming in. You're learning to trust and have faith in the changes and the people that are coming in. You're not getting so hung up on, oh, I really like this friend, or I'm really into this guy, or I'm really into this girl. What am I going to do if it doesn't work out? Oh my God, please, 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 please work out. Like, you're not in that desperate energy. You're in this place of faith that, okay, you know what? the universe has brought me what I need right now, and this is going to go for however long it's meant to go. And if it ends, it's only ending because something even better is coming in, and you're just completely open to that. You're completely open and trusting the changes of the universe, because you understand that you are a child of God, universe, that you are loved, and that, you know, you're only going to be brought good things for you. Your next card here is kindness. So one of the things that you're manifesting is kindness from others. I'm very sad to say this, but sometimes just the truth of it is that a lot of us who come into this planet, into this, reincarnation, and we're light workers or starred seeds or earth angels or however you want to word it, healers, empaths, we come into some negative energy, or we're born into some negative energy. And sometimes it's a whole thing with like the wounded healer, right? Like, you know, really good people can have really, really messed up things happen to them, or just a lot of mean energy, even straight out the gate through childhood. And it's because that darkness that's in the world doesn't want you to be the light worker. It wants you to be damaged, and it doesn't want you to shine and to help and to heal others. So it's sad to say, but sometimes that darkness tries to take the light workers out. Very, very early on. And so a lot of you may have had those experiences. You might look back on your childhood and be like, holy crap, like, why was it so bad, or why did that happen? It's because you have such a massive purpose that there were forces that didn't want you to achieve that purpose. But now that you're stronger, and you're shielding, and you're grounding yourself, and you were protected, and you were brought through that time for this purpose, now you're finally coming into the energy and the vibration of receiving kindness, other people being kind to you, you being kind to them, really, really feeling loved in that way, like really, like even I feel like feeling special, or like just complete and total strangers doing kind things for you, running to open the door for you, smiling, just exceptional service when you're out and about. Like if you have like a customer service type situation where you're a customer or a patron at a place, they're giving you really amazing service. So really, really positive energy coming in this way for those of you who have chosen this deck. Just really positive gifts coming in, very positive, warm treatment towards you. Next card, if you chose this deck, is vibration. Okay, vibration is changing. You are manifesting this really massive transformation where you're coming into this new energy, where you're coming into this light. And so you're having this really positive growth, and you're having this, just being able to see through the darkness and come out of this on top, come out of this in the light. Being in a higher energy where things don't bring you down like they used to, and the old negativity can't reach you because you're above it. Your next card here, if you chose this deck, is grateful. So you're going to be in gratitude. As these positive changes are happening, as these positive things are coming into full effect into your life, you're feeling happier, you're feeling blessed, and you're giving thanks for it. You're genuinely grateful from your heart, and gratitude is becoming something that's more second nature for you. You're not having to remind yourself to try to be grateful, because it's becoming easier for you, or more natural for you to be grateful. And that gratitude, guess what, guys? You are on this really amazing positive chain reaction where it's just more after more after more. You're grateful because good things are happening, and the more you stay grateful, the more great things are happening. So it's a really, really positive energy that's coming in for those of you who chose this deck. I'm excited for both of these decks. I think they're both really beautiful energies. Your next deck here, if you chose this deck, I feel like if you chose this deck, you're in a really positive place right now. And I feel like you're really having some playfulness or inner child energy coming up in you. Maybe you're feeling guided to work with children. Maybe you feel like you're coming into like a parental energy where you're wanting to be a parent, or if you are a parent, you're connecting more with your kids, or you're thinking back about your childhood, or you're wanting to like write a children's book or something. But I feel there's a a playfulness. If you chose this deck, I feel like there's a playfulness that's awakening within you. Your first card here is Like a Bird. So again, like I said, guys, this is going to be the next 6 months because of the lunar eclipse, partial solar eclipse that's happening after the new moon. This is an extended energy over the next 6 months. You have bird, like a bird. This card is about just fearlessly going for it. Like something catches your attention and you go for it. Like the bird sees something and it just goes for it. It doesn't worry about not being able to reach it. It doesn't worry about falling along the way. It trusts in its ability to fly. If something grabs a bird's attention and it goes for it. So a lot of that can be about seizing the opportunity. A lot of you who chose this deck, like very much like a child, oh, what's that over there? And they go for it, right? Like kids are so unedited. They're so unfiltered. They don't overanalyze things. Like they're very much in the moment. And I feel that that's energy that a lot of you are coming into if you've chosen this deck. Your next card here is going to be Flower Spirit. The Flower Spirit is about joy. It's about beauty. It's about inspiration. It's about interacting with others. And it's about being in this really positive vibration. A lot of you are coming into this energy where you're feeling more like delicate, I guess I want to say, but not like in a negative way, like, oh goodness, like soft. I guess that's what I want to say. A lot of you are feeling very soft, and that soft feeling is giving you a sense of like warmth and beauty and being loved. I guess what I'm trying to say, some of you are getting very comfortable with vulnerability, and you're not seeing the vulnerability as a weakness. You're seeing the vulnerability as a door that is open, helping you to connect with others who are loving, who are of a higher vibration, and who are in that give and take energy, much like a child receiving love from a parent, right? The child is vulnerable, but when it's receiving that, you know, assistance, it can feel very loved. And I think a lot of you who didn't feel loved as a child, things are happening in your life over the next 6 months where that inner child is feeling very loved. And maybe it's because you're giving that inner child a lot of, you know, attention and care and, healing. And that's attracting people to you who are treating you in that way, the adult you. And there's this really positive just chain reaction of that, you know, seeing the vulnerability is something beautiful and not something scary. Your next card here is Oh Sunny Day. And this is actually a card about like the positive shift in luck, having good luck coming in. So maybe a lot of you for a very long time you felt like, man, am I cursed? Am I doomed? That's changing, that's lifting, and all of a sudden good things are happening one after another. That mushroom, you know, to me, me personally, I symbolize mushrooms with magic. So we'll just leave it at that. And so I feel like a lot of you are finding a lot of really magical experiences in the everyday life. Once again, very much like a child who, you know, just sees really magical things. I mean, blow bubbles for little kids and they go nuts. And it's something so simple, right? But they're just in such joy in that moment for just the fact that it's floating and the way it just kind of comes up out of nowhere and the way that you can pop it. And it's just so exciting for them. So you're coming into this energy where you're beginning to see magic around you. You're feeling very inspired. You're feeling very creative. You're feeling very playful. And you're feeling like good things are happening. Like you just have a very optimistic and positive outlook because it's like the universe is showing you reasons to be positive. The universe is showing you reasons to, you know, have this great outlook because this magic is coming up around you, or this feeling of magic and good luck. Very, very much that, you know, positive change in energy, positive turn of events. Your next card here is Elixir of Life. And this is about connecting with life force energy. Like, you know, she's sitting here, she's smelling this flower. She has her eyes closed, but she's definitely experiencing it. So, and this is bringing her into the moment. It's bringing her into the now. Maybe she had a bad day. Maybe she's stressed out. But this flower is a very enjoyable experience for her in this moment. So for some of you, you may be connecting with nature and feeling very in tune with nature and finding healing or being present. I always say it's really hard to be pissed off if you're sitting underneath a tree. It's hard to be angry or upset if you're sitting underneath a tree. I don't know why that is, but it's an experience that I have had. Just something about being in that energy can be very healing and very calming and very soothing. So, you know, some of you are connecting with nature. Some of you are connecting with life in different ways. Maybe you're getting involved with animals or helping animals, or maybe you're getting a new pet. Or like I said, some of you might be feeling very drawn to children or being around children, or, you know, like just connecting with life. Like, I don't know if you've ever held or cuddled like a little small kitten or a little small puppy, or if you've ever held or cuddled like a child who's like falling asleep. There's just such a soothing energy in that life, and just feeling that life, feeling that flow, that breath, that movement of life. It can be very, you know, bringing us into the here and now, and bringing us connection, and bringing us joy, and bringing us healing. But I just really feel like you're having just falling in love with life, connecting through life in different types of life. I hope that makes sense. Your next card here is To the Moon and Back. Okay, this is a really beautiful image here. This woman is sitting on this moon-shaped swing, and she's looking out over, thinking about all of the things that she's wishing for. She's making a wish, right? And that bird is on her shoulder, reminding her that she is free to pursue those wishes, that she is free to pursue those dreams. And she's got this beautiful feathered little skirt here, this dress here, you know, like these feathers, like you can fly on these wings, you can go towards these dreams, or you can even swing and take a leap, you know. But you know, she's just kind of sitting there looking at the things that she wants. So I feel like what is happening for you guys over the next 6 months is, as you're coming into this childlike wonder, into this new energy, and you're having a lot of joy, a lot of excitement, you're going to feel really content for a while. I feel like at the end of the 6 months, you're going to see that, wow, there's even more possible out there. There's even more things I want to accomplish. And so you might be like, oh, but I'm scared to go for it, right? And this card is reminding you to keep going. Like, after you have all of these really positive experiences, and you're like, you have your fill, it's going to be time to level up again to even more joy, to have even more positive experiences. But at that stage, it's going to require for you to take a leap of faith, or to keep going. And this card is just saying, look, all these wonderful things that are happening for you the next 6 months, you are just getting started, my dear. Keep going, okay? Keep going. So I'm excited. This is really great energy, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Do share this with friends and family. I think there's a lot of really, really positive energy coming in, and I would just hate for anybody not to take advantage of the positive energies that are coming in right now. 2019 is going to be a really good year for a lot of people, and let's just all encourage everybody, right? Even if you're not encouraging them by sharing this video, however you're encouraging them, please encourage other people. Let's get a positive chain reaction going. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. Thank you guys for, you know, watching, and let me know if you need a private reading. But I'm excited. I'm excited for everyone, guys. Happy new moon. Take care.